According to MailerLite, the average open rate for 2022 is 27.91, which is probably a lot higher than most of us get. So let's go through some actionable strategies and tactics we can use to hopefully get closer to that industry-wide benchmark of 27.91. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful links and resources to actually building out and writing your emails. Now, before we dive into the best time of day, the how many emails a week, and the best day a week to send, let's talk about subject lines, because nothing really matters unless someone actually opens our emails. And while there are a lot of different formulas out there, there are a lot of different ways that you can go about writing subject lines. There are only 3 words you need to keep in mind when writing your subject line. Number 1 is curiosity. We just need to build curiosity around whatever is in the email to get people to click. And then element number 2 is either going to be a result or a roadblock. So we have curiosity, result, roadblock. That covers 80 to 90% of all the different subject line, headline style formulas you can use. I keep saying headline formulas, but it's just subject line, but you can use the same type of, all right, let's just move on. So when it comes to results and roadblocks, just make a quick list of all of the results your email subscribers are after, and then all the roadblocks that they are dealing with. And then go ahead and create headlines or subject lines. See, I keep saying headlines. Create subject lines around achieving those results or breaking through those roadblocks. Now, the key in your subject line is not to give away the answer. It's just to tease out that you can help them achieve that result faster, easier than they thought possible, or you can help them overcome that roadblock with less effort, or just sidestep it or avoid it altogether. So in a very oversimplified fashion, we have the new way to achieve this result that you want, or finally break that roadblock faster than you thought. So all you need to do is focus on curiosity and just tease out a roadblock or struggle that they're dealing with, or tease out a result that they're trying to achieve, and tease that there is an easier, faster, better way or new way to go about achieving that result that they're ultimately after. And that is pretty much 80% of subject line writing. So I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on how to use curiosity elements in your email copywriting, because that's going to be a large part of the process. Now, after you start getting some opens, right? And after let's say the first week of someone being on your email list, you probably have people in one of 3 categories. You have yeah, I like these emails and I'm going to keep reading them. You have the people who are like, well, they're okay. I'll just wait for another deal, because that's why a lot of people stay on email lists. And then you have number 3, who are you again? I'm pretty sure I should mark you as spam. I don't remember joining your email list at all. So to make sure that we have more of group number 1 and a heck of a lot less of who the heck are you, you're going to want to use story in all of your emails. After all, just sending promotional emails every other day, other businesses might do it. You might be subscribed to lists that do it, but chances are you probably want to build a long-term brand and business. And so you actually need to build rapport and goodwill and connection with the people on your email list in order to help increase those open rates and increase your engagement rates. Because after all, if someone is already on board with your emails, it's not really going to matter how much curiosity you put in your headline. They're going to open it anyway. And so one of the things that we need to do, not only have those curiosity headlines, we also need to make sure that people remember that they enjoyed the last email that they read. And so they're going to be more open to opening our email. There's definitely a better way to say that. Okay, let's just go through an example of how to use story inside of your email. Now here's an email from my broadcast sequence. The current open rate is 24.5%, or 0.49 to be exact. And so you can go ahead and pause the video if you want to, read this verbatim. But essentially what you want to do with your story is focus on a particular emotion, right? So in the subject line, almost said headline again, in the subject line, we chose a result or roadblock that we were going to talk about. And most of the time there is some sort of emotion attached to the roadblock or the result that someone's trying to overcome or achieve. And so in this particular instance, I'm sharing a story of being totally chewed out by my boss, right? And most of us could relate to this on some level. And so what we do is most of the email is talking about the story of being chewed out, the setting of the setup of why I was chewed out in the first place, and then kind of how I felt. And so this is building some empathy and empathizing with anyone on my email list who's also been chewed out and felt like, wow, I don't know if this is really what I should be doing with my life. And so I start by connecting with anyone who's ever been in a principal's office, right? You might be wondering, what does a principal's office have to do with wanting to be a consultant? Well, you think about a situation that you've had in your life, or even if it's not directly related to whatever you're talking about, and think about the emotion, positive or negative, that experience left on you, and most likely left on someone else. And so even if your experiences aren't directly related to what you're talking about, it's the emotion of that experience that really matters. So in this particular instance, it's feeling belittled or frustrated or powerless, right? This is something that everyone has felt at some point. And so if you think about those different times in your life where you felt like that, you can use that and then tie it back into whatever your offer is or piece of content is for the day. So here I relate being stuck in a principal's office to being yelled at by my boss to wondering whether or not I should even be at this workplace and how much I don't really like feeling like I'm stuck in a principal's office, right? And then that ties back into going to becoming a consultant, which obviously you're watching this video, so you know kind of how the story ends. Now again, you can always go back and pause and kind of read through the whole email, but as a general rule with your stories, you really want to focus on shared experiences. Almost everyone's been in trouble at school at some point. Not all of us were in the principal's office every other day, but hey, you know, we've all had that experience as a kid being in trouble, right? So we can take that experience, take those emotions, and then tie it back to some sort of current frustration or feeling belittled or feeling powerless, right? And so story is just incredibly important, and it also helps from keeping your emails just being super boring. Now, speaking of super boring, let's talk about the technical setup and automation side of all this. Like, what is the best day of the week? What's the best time to actually send emails? And if you're anything like me, you probably don't want to hear,
well, it depends if your niche or industry is this, if your list size is that, or if you're doing this, or if you're doing that. Like,
oh my gosh, just ballpark it for me, right? I cannot stand it when other people just tell me, oh, well, it depends. And then like they won't even give you a ballpark figure. So here is an exact day: Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. or Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. There, done. There's an exact day and exact time. Now, thanks to MailerLite for supplying this data. Link in the description to check out more about their software. According to their 2021 data, they found that the best days for open rates was Monday to Thursday, which makes a whole lot of sense. Now, they also found that Friday afternoons, like right after lunch, when people are pretty much just peacing out from work anyway, and you're stuck there for another 3 hours. So what are you gonna do? Open your email and see if there's anything cool to look at, right? I don't know, I haven't been stuck in a cubicle for a while, but you should definitely test this for yourself. So start by sending emails Monday through Thursday and then test to see what times actually work. Most of autoresponder softwares out there will allow you to actually set up the time based upon the person's time zone. So you don't have to worry about, well, if I send it 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, then it's, Central Time and then Eastern Time. You can actually set it up so everyone, irrespective of their time zone, gets it in that particular time frame. Hopefully that made sense. So the next question, of course, is how many emails per week? Now this one, yes, it does depend. As a general rule, you want to probably be sending at least 3, and then every 4th email could be a promotion. Ideally 5 emails a week, because for the most part, as long as your emails are actually good, it's not really going to hurt you to send more, especially if you're not promoting every other email. So just as a general rule, at least 3 emails per week. Every 4th email can be some sort of promotion. The other 3 should be some sort of content or engagement piece. Link in the cards in the description to a super deep dive email guide that goes through examples of some of the other types of emails you could send as a part of your broadcast. And finally, to wrap up, irrespective of how much time and energy and effort you put into your emails, at the end of the day, open rates are going to go down. So just for transparency's sake, here are some of the open rates of our email sequences. Of course, I listed them by the ones that got over 80% first, right? Because building curiosity with a YouTube thumbnail gets you a heck of a lot more clicks, right? And as you can see going down, eventually the open rates dropped below 20% for our general broadcast sequence. So we redid a new version, and this is the one that we launched about a month and a half ago, and it's doing okay. On average, we're about 22% open rates, but you can see here there are definitely some emails that are significantly lower that I need to go in and work on. And so it is a constant work. It's constant work to continually test and see, and you really don't know if an email's bad until you send it. and you find out. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. Most importantly, you have some ideas for yourself on what to test with your own email sequences, and hopefully seeing, my good, bad, or average open rates was encouraging. So hit that like button, subscribe for more marketing guides just like this one, and until the next, keep building the business you love.